Hey everybody, let me get my screen set up really quick. This will be a short one if you're watching on the replay. And let me turn off mute my sound. There we go. Set it to live chat. There we go. 4 people. Oh wow. This is going to be a short one, folks. My Amazon package that I'm waiting for that I need to assemble is 4 stops away. And a few minutes ago it was 8 stops away. So it looks like it's moving quickly. So let's see. What did I set the goal for? Yeah, just 30 minutes because I've got to put something together that I may keep or may send back. Am I already having buyer's remorse before I even receive the package? Hey, Donna McFoy. Hey, Janice Langley. Hey, Kathy Mowry. Welcome in. This will be very short, waiting for the Amazon package that I ordered 2 days ago. It's like 4 stops away, and it's something I need to assemble carefully and then decide if I'm keeping it or sending it back before I can, you know, film myself using it. Let's see what's going on. 8 people. Well, it's only 2 minutes into it. Maybe I should give it another few minutes. I'm watching the Dodger game too right now. 3-0 Dodgers, but it's only the 4th inning. And they're leaving town in a few hours, flying to Phoenix. So I did research some news stories that have come up about Nancy. However, it's a slow news day. Remember, it's Sunday, everybody. Hey, there's 14 people here. I'm April Davis, PI. I'm a licensed California private investigator here in Los Angeles, California. And today is Sunday, May 31st. Yeah, it's my last day to receive any royalties for the month of May, which will be paid June 21st. So I thought, you know what? It's the last day to get those totals up, to get those views up. I better just hurry up and come on. And at the beginning of this video, my channel dashboard says that I have 3,113 subscribers. For most YouTubers, that's a very small number, but for me, it's huge. So if you're not subscribed, let's get it up there. I have been watching various videos and reading different news articles about CrimeCon that happened this weekend in Las Vegas. And there is a story. CrimeCon panel reveals new details in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Hey, Ryan. It's just a little bit of information. Nothing earth shaking, but it's more than nothing. More than 100 days after Nancy Guthrie was last seen, investigators are considering bringing in new tools to help them find her. Yeah, that's what it says. While speaking at a CrimeCon panel focused on the disappearance of the 84-year-old Fox digital reporter Michael Ruiz revealed that he got new information just minutes before taking the stage. I heard from a really good federal source that they are now discussing bringing in new tools to the investigation, specifying that the tools would be technological. I wonder what that means. Defense attorney Donna Rotino, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Rotano, also on the panel, revealed that she learned that Savannah Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie's daughter, and the host of Today on NBC, has now spent $500,000 of her own money hiring private investigators to help with the case. Now, remember, none of that has been confirmed. Kathy, do your job. Thank you very much, sweetie. I still have you as the mod. Let's see. So that tells me she's not satisfied, said Rutuno or Rutano. Don't know how to pronounce her name. And I don't think she has a lot of faith in where law enforcement has taken us to this point. Well, all these stories started circulating after the sheriff's department announced that they were no longer speaking to the Guthrie family. And we don't know if the Guthries were speaking to them and said, screw you, we're not talking to you anymore. Or if they were just like, you know what, we're not dealing with those people anymore, which is really sad because they're the victim's family. So, Nanos, you're just really a piece of crap, aren't you? Initially, everyone thought this was a missing persons case. And the way investigators walked into it initially probably wasn't with the right set of lenses. I agree. They thought she walked off. But yet, he said the next day in a press conference, Nano said that because of things that were found at the scene, they immediately called in homicide detectives. So, which is it? They immediately called in homicide detectives, or they thought she was just a missing senior who simply walked away? Rotuno criticized the way investigators handled this case, including failing to gather certain pieces of evidence and failing to block people from the crime scene. In fact, Ruiz was able to walk directly up to the door of Nancy Guthrie's home. The deputy told me to, he explained. Fox Nation's Paul Morrow said the failure to secure this scene and gather the appropriate evidence quickly will make it harder to prosecute any potential case down the line. I said that all along. They're going to have a really hard time. Someone's going to get a good lawyer and they're going to question every single thing at that scene. A potential key piece of evidence in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is a single hair. Yes, a single hair found at her home. The Pima County Sheriff's Office, the lead agency investigating this case, wanted to examine the hair for potential DNA at a lab in Florida rather than use the FBI's lab in Quantico, Virginia. Yeah, blah blah blah. We've seen this before. It looks to me like they were not cooperating. The DNA should have gone right to the FBI. Despite the FBI sending a plane, yeah, that was a fixed wing aircraft, to fly the hair from the scene to the Quantico lab. It took 11 weeks, more like 12, I think, for federal agents to get access to the evidence. Yeah, hello, Suzanne, welcome in. Discussing the ransom notes in the case, the panelists all agreed that it's unlikely any were penned by the kidnapper. The last place you go to is TMZ. Uh, oh, wow. Sorry, there is a screaming cat. Oh, God, I think my neighbor's taking the cat. Oh, geez. I think the cat is having to be put down soon. Not my cat, but oh, gosh. My neighbor just walked out the door with the cat in the carrier, and the cat is like this close to death. Oh, my God. I'm sorry that threw me, people. I'm a big animal lover. So let me go back. Discussing the ransom notes in the case, the panelists all agreed that it's unlikely any were penned by the kidnapper. The last place you go to is TMZ. To me, that was someone looking for attention rather than looking to gain a ransom in a legitimate kidnapping. The notes also lacked an urgency or proof of life, which is unusual in kidnapping cases. It is unusual to send notes to TMZ. But, if you watch my video, the suspect video, there is someone that is listed in that video as someone who's been reported in this big, huge soap opera of a case, who, until his name came up, he was a big follower of TMZ. Just saying. And all that got deleted. That all got scrubbed from social media. Not accusing anybody. Remember, everybody on my channel is innocent until proven guilty. Oh, hey, little old cricket bucket. Or no, little old cricket bug. That's a nice username. I was like, what? Kathy says, be right back. No problem, Kathy. Let's see. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I was just reading what I recently heard on this case, and then I heard my neighbor walk out with the cat. And that cat, like every time she comes home from work, just howls. The cat is super, super old, and she's a very good cat mom, but still, she was asking me the other day, do I think it's time? And I told her, like, I can't make that decision for her. So that really distracted me. But yeah, supposedly there's new technological something that they're bringing into the case. What does that mean? You know what I think it means? That they're sending the hair, the single strand of hair that's rootless, they're probably forwarding it to that lab in San Francisco. I guess that was the lab that helped with the Brian Koberger case. Um, yeah, like that's not like huge breaking news, but that's what's come out of CrimeCon. That somebody was tipped by the feds that they're bringing in some new technological um, pieces of equipment, maybe? We're not really sure. So I guess it's not really a cold case. I had been very confident the last week or so, but this morning, when I hear all the negativity around like Savannah and her hiring PIs and the fact that the police department or the Pima County Sheriff's is not talking with the family anymore, sometimes, I don't know, my mind goes to a dark place. Like, are we really back at square one? Do they really not have any more evidence than a single strand of hair? Because if that's the case, this case could be in trouble. But I don't want to go down that dark rabbit hole just yet. I want to be positive and think that this is going to get solved. They're going to arrest someone soon, I hope. VMS. So then I guess that the biggest piece of evidence, that's the biggest piece of evidence that they have. But that's what it sounded like. Let me turn off my notifications here. And let me make sure my chat is set right on the phone to all so I can see you all. Oh my gosh. There are some awful people in here today. Please go down the rabbit hole. Um, you'd have to see all the videos, 36. Uh, let's see. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Yeah, no religion here. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, this is a short one today. I'm just waiting for my Amazon delivery and then I have to take care of it. But it is the last day of May, so it's the last day for me to get the views and to bring up the subscribers. It's been a little slow since I hit 3,000, but hey, we're up to 3114. That means I gained a whole one while I've been on the air for the last 12 minutes. You never know. YouTube has its ups and its downs. Gosh, I hope you guys on the video, you probably couldn't because my mics suck, I still don't have like the ultimate Wi-Fi mics. So you guys probably couldn't hear that horrible, horrible scream of the neighbor's cat. So sad for him. Um, let's see. Yeah, you're not being negative, Emis. You're just, you're being honest that may be the only piece of evidence right now that this case hedges on. I was afraid of that. Like, is that it? That they're just waiting for that single rootless hair? Lori, frustrating, too focused on technology, need more shoe leather. Yeah, boots on the ground. Good old-fashioned detective work. That's why detectives are called gumshoes. Simply tracking down that limited edition University of Arizona fleece jacket would probably crack right away. I think you've mentioned that before, that University of Arizona fleece jacket. Oh, that's a good clue, Lori. Um, okay. Kathy, I'm just going to let you be in charge today. And, don't feel that you have to come in every time and do this. It's just, uh, I still haven't made a final decision on how I'm going to handle the mods in the future. But for now, there you are, honey. Hey, Tim Wood. Good evening to you. Where are you coming in from? Yeah, it's only 2:44 here. So are you in the Eastern time zone? Tonight is a full moon, and it's the blue moon. You've ever heard that saying, once in a blue moon? That's when they have two full moons in the same month. You're in England. Welcome in, England. We had a lot of countries in here yesterday. We had, obviously the UK, but we had England and Scotland and the UK. We had Ireland. Um, got Ecuador, New Zealand, Canada. That's crazy. Uh, Cricket Bug says, while I don't believe A or T are involved, I do think A will probably I do think that A will probably end up writing a book about her side and all she's going through. I hadn't thought of that, Cricket Bug. I hear that she's a poet. I don't know if she makes any money at it. Hussafel, hi, I thought it would have been solved by video and witnesses seeing something. You would think so from that front porch guy. They saw the perpetrator in video, his height, weight, and attire, tracing the attire to shopping videos, etc. So far, we don't know. I just heard a clunk. I wonder if that was Amazon putting my big box at the door. I saw an Amazon delivery driver earlier. It was a lady, and she was carrying a big box, and I was like, "Oh, maybe that's my box." And I could see it out the window, and it was all crushed on the end. And I'm like, "Oh no, I hope that's not my box. I don't want it crushed before it gets here. It's got something really fragile in it." um, I was really hoping they had more pictures and videos, says BMS5. It's possible that they do, and they're just releasing that small clip. It's very possible. Let's see. I'll check in just a few minutes, Kathy. This is going to be like super short today. But now I'm so excited. Woo! Let me check, Kathy. Now you got me. It's like, getting that baseball mail yesterday. I was going to save it, but I just had to open it before I even went on camera. Well, Kathy, that must have been the ghost of deliveries past because there's nothing at the door. But I did hear a thump. I heard a distinctive thump, like somebody dropped a box at the door and it like kind of hit the door. I definitely heard that. I checked just before I went on air and they were 4 stops away. But sometimes it'll get really close where it says 4, 3, 2, and all of a sudden the truck will just disappear. And then you get, a message. It's coming by 10 o'clock tonight. And then 10 o'clock tonight comes and goes. And then, the next day they're like, I'm sorry, this item is late. So just because they say it's on the truck and it's coming, it's not 100%. um, I can't tell you, VMIS, because I have to set it up first and see if it's going to work. If it does work like I want it to, then you will see what it is. It's a piece of equipment. Um, no problem, Kathy. Need to check to see if my groceries are here. Yeah, don't let your groceries melt. That's more important. I will watch the chat. I will take out the trolls. Lori Smith, you are the very first super chat of the day. And that really helps. And you know why? Because it's May 31st. It's the last day of May or whatever's going to be paid in June. It cuts off at midnight tonight. So everybody, give Lori Smith a like on that super chat. Click that like button for her, and then go up to the top of the video and click the like button for me. AJ Liebfried, hello. Where are you coming in from, AJ? I haven't seen you before. Let's see. We got 35 people and only 16 thumbs up. This is a short day today because I am waiting for that Amazon delivery. And I'm watching a ball game. 4-0 LA. I'm still kind of upset about the Friday night game, the fact that it was on Apple TV. And even though I pay that subscription fee to that other site that connects me into Sportsnet LA, that I couldn't see the game Friday. Kathy Mowry, such a big supporter of the channel. Let me heart that. Everybody give Kathy Mowry a like on her super chat. Yeah, I I'm happy with what I think it's going to be, like the next month's check, but it's significantly less than that first month's check since remonetization. And it could be just because people are losing interest in the Nancy Guthrie case. Oh, you're coming in from Indiana. I haven't seen Jay today from Indiana. I wonder how she's doing. We got a lot of people from Indiana to watch this. And apparently, according to some of the people that are coming in from these other countries, this Nancy Guthrie case is big, not just in the United States, but this is a worldwide case. People are talking about it, like the lady that comes in from New Zealand. Actually, we have several that come in from New Zealand, but one of them told me, like, April, this is huge, like in Australia and New Zealand. So pretty interesting. Like, I'm sorry that we all have to meet each other because of a tragedy like this, you know. Um, I pray for Nancy to be found every day. I pray for this case to be solved, and I pray for Savannah and family. Uh, yeah, this is tough. Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah, this is a tough one, everybody. After I talked to the retired FBI agent here in California, I was kind of uplifted because he said, this will be solved. It may take a while, but it'll be solved. But there's a less of a chance they'll actually find the remains, which is really sad because, he basically thinks like I'm thinking. And it's not a negative thought, but we're both thinking that she died quickly um, after she was taken based on her age and her medical issues and taking her out of her environment. Cat Lady Grandma, you're also in Indiana. How you doing? Welcome back in, Cat Lady. Uh, yeah, now I'm totally distracted too because of, I just started my video and then I heard the neighbor with the cat and I'm just like, oh no, uh, I hope the cat that's not the ride to the end. It's so, animals keep me going, but it's so tragic when when they're not around anymore. Poor neighbor. I'm saying a prayer for her too right now. Praying for her her kitty. David Thompson. Is it possible that Nancy is still in the house? She could be that close to where she was taken. I don't think she's in the house. There's been so much law enforcement in that house. I think they probably did a good search. Well, apparently they didn't at first because they didn't even see the blood right away. But maybe that's because Annie and Tommaso came in through the garage when they came to look for her on Sunday, February 1st. Of course, we don't know what time because the police, they have made multiple statements about multiple timelines. And that still to this day that bothers me that why a police department would come on the news and talk about a case like this that is high profile involving a celebrity's mother and give two completely different timelines as to when the church lady called the family, as to when the family arrived at the house, as to when the family called 911, when did the police arrive, and when did Savannah receive that first call. It seems like quite a bit of time had passed before Savannah was brought into the fact that her mother was missing. I mean, I know it was chaotic, the scene was chaotic, but still, I think she would have called her like while she was still in the car on the way there. Um, let's see. I think she did too. Oh, I missed something. Uh, yeah, I don't think she's in the house. Yeah. Unless she was in a freezer or something. A celebrity, she's a new person? Bah ha ha. What does that mean? I'm taking that out. She is the mother of a celebrity. That makes her a target. And I would know that because I've been a PI for 42 years. That just sounded like somebody being a troll. Is it possible the police were involved? Well, normally I would say no, but I do question the actions of the leader of the Pima County Sheriff's Department, the sheriff himself, Chris Nanos. Like, why was he so quick to release the scene and have evidence destroyed? Why was the front doormat left on the front porch? Why did they not take the frame that held the Nest camera? Uh, 8 days later, when Nest was able, or Google was able to retrieve that limited video from a camera that they didn't have and a camera that didn't have a subscription. They saw the guy with the shrubs and, and they sprinkled and got mixed into, well, her blood then hit that, and they didn't take all of that. Like, they didn't do a very good CSI workup of that property. And then the FBI wasn't allowed in until the 5th day. And then they temporarily yellow taped it while they did their analysis. But by then it was too late because you had the news agencies, the YouTubers, the pizza man, um, Amazon, like reporters walking right up to the door. Even mainstream guys like Brian Hinton were able to walk right up to the door. And people noticed that there were some kind of tracks that were leading right off. There's like a couple steps off of that front porch, and then there's some dirt, and there were tracks in that dirt, and they were just trampled over. Um, oh, I remember this person. Okay, gone. Donna, I'll be watching this on the replay later. Sorry I can't turn my volume up, but my friend is making too much noise for me to hear you. No problem, Donna. It's going to be a short one today. Um, Other than God, almost anyone could have been involved. Yeah, just about, David. Just checking my Dodger score, 4-0. Um, in my opinion, yes, local Popo, says Janice. Kathy Mallory, one of my biggest supporters. Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. Everybody give her a like on that super chat. Uh, I'm not your buddy, and we don't talk politics here. Okay. Oh, boy. No politics, no religion, people, and positivity. Now, everybody here is welcome. Everybody here is welcome. Do you think she's in Mexico? I'm not going to read the rest of that comment. I kind of doubt it, but I'm not 100% sure because we don't know what happened yet, Gator Bait. Remember, this is YouTube. We got to be kind of careful what we say here, especially since the channel, it took, how many years to get monetized and then unmonetized and then remonetized. We don't want to make any, gory statements like that. Cricket Bug, do you think that if it was solely about money that they would still have sent proof of death if after she passed? Well, how do you send proof of death after she passed? If it's about money, if it's a kidnapping for ransom, then you keep the person alive so you can show proof of life. Um, Now, if it's about money because somebody close to the family could be involved, I'm saying could be. Remember, everybody is innocent here until proven guilty in a court of law. If it's something like that, and it was intended for her to be DEAD, then, it could be about money that way. What about life insurance? What about heirs? What about her house? Who would inherit her house? Um, but I'm not, saying that the family is involved. I'm just saying that, is it money for what happens after she's gone, or is it money because somebody's targeting Savannah? Let's target this 84-year-old woman who is the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, who has quite a bit of moolah. Somebody came in here yesterday and said, "Oh, she doesn't have anything." I'd say 50 to $100 million probably in her bank account right now. So it could have been about the money. It most likely is. I had an attorney I worked for years, and he said, "April, the whole world revolves around money and S," which is basically true. Hey, Jane Rice. Thank you. This is my Minnesota Twins shirt that I got. And yesterday, the baseball mail started up again. Bemis, I agree. She says, so strange, just unreal. Yeah, there aren't any cases like this. But then I throw in the celebrity factor, that she is the mother of a celebrity. And she too had made several appearances, including recently on the Today Show. And maybe that wasn't such a great idea. Uh, David, maybe the person or people who are responsible learned how to cover it up from the politicians. Don't know. Asene Kadari, welcome in. I know, VMIS. It's going on for too long. I just can't believe they haven't been caught. Well, it didn't help sending the rootless hair to the wrong lab and not letting the FBI come in and, do their CSI work from day one. As soon as they saw that blood was involved and it was a high profile person who was the mother of a celebrity, they should have immediately had the FBI there. That's just nanos being nanos. I don't know what that guy is thinking. Vima, see that it makes even more crazy to me. See that makes it even more crazy to me that they haven't been caught because she is a celebrity mother. Exactly. There's been hundreds of FBI agents on this. Uh, Thank you, Kathy. Um, yeah, like what the hey? Even when I went over the interview yesterday, um, between that reporter Eaton and Nancy Grace, ah, she even seemed she didn't say it, but she seemed kind of like, what the hey? Like this is still we've got all these agencies involved and this is still going on? Today is 120 days. Today is the last day in month 4 that Nancy has been missing. It's the last day of the 4th month. Tomorrow is June 1st, which will be the first day of the 5th month. When I started these videos, I figured this would be done in a week. And tomorrow starts the 5th month. Anyone suspect a cult of doing it, maybe a church? We don't know that, David. See my suspect video. Uh, Anything is possible. Uh, Anything is possible. Even the deep, dark rabbit holes are possible. However, I still stick to my original theories from day one that it's either the Savannah factor or it's somebody close to her, such as, friends, family, someone that worked in the house or on the property. Hey, Rita Close. Welcome in, my friend. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my Amazon delivery, and I have my notifications turned off, so I can't look it up on my account now to see how many stops away they are. But when I started this video 33 minutes ago, Amazon was 4 stops away, and I have a piece of equipment that I need to put together and get it set up. So, and today is also the last day of May, so it's the last day to get the views and whatever else is coming in before it cuts off at midnight tonight, and then we have to start June 1st all over again. That's like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this every day, like forever. Kathy says that was 2 strikes, April, politics and religion. Go for it, Kathy. Yeah, let me remind everybody, no politics or religion. You know, you get a warning, either I say it or Kathy types it in the chat, hey, no politics or religion, and then you do it a second time, you're taken out. Um, I'm not too quick to hit the trigger, but if you don't listen the first time, you're out of here for 24 hours. Thank you, Kathy. Like I said, I haven't made a permanent decision yet on the mod situation. This is just day to day. I may not have any, or I may just go video to video. I haven't decided yet. um, but you've helped me out a lot the last few days, Kathy, and I appreciate that. And I wasn't even going to come on today too because today was the day after I took my bone pill, and you know how I feel after the bone pill day. It's just I woke up this morning like, oh, I didn't feel so bad, and I don't want to get out of bed, and I was like, Oh, I took that bone pill yesterday. And then I realized, "Oh, I've got that delivery coming and I got stuff to do. Better get up." Um, so you really aren't totally enjoying being a YouTuber? I love being a YouTuber, but I never planned on going on once or twice a day, like every single day, but this case happened and whenever something new comes in, I want to report it and I want to keep it relevant, even on the days that we don't have new news. Even though I'll get some haters that'll come in and say, "Why did you make this video? And why were you talking about other stuff?" And, I already heard about that and there's no new news. And, well, would you rather I just, you know, every day go, "Oh, no new news, no video today. Oh, no new news, no video today." Today I had at least the story from CrimeCon that the feds are claiming they have some sort of new investigation coming in that's technological. Now, what is that? We don't know. Um, uh, YouTube is a lot of work. There's a lot of back end work after I go off the air, too. Um, yeah, every day is getting tough, but and it just depends on like my time and my health and what's going on. And but I just want to keep this relevant. I'm not doing this for the money, but I've had so much equipment that has, I tipped over my ring lamp, which was on its last leg anyway, had to be replaced. I broke my transmitter on my microphones on the Wi-Fi mics, and I can't use the big microphone that I use for my desktop recording because that won't hook to the phone for the vertical lives. Then my phone died. Uh, I needed a shorter tripod. Like that phone, there's a 3-year payment plan on that. Like 3 years? With my health, will I even be here in 3 years? Knock on wood, I hope so. But I don't want to pay something off for 3 years. But you can't survive without a phone. Um, Demas, you could always get in the car and drive us around Cali. I wish I could, but I'm so disabled that I stay close to home, close to doctors, and close to my hospital. But yeah, I used to drive all over the place for years, for decades. But I wasn't on YouTube then. Plus, I have my cane, and it's just life has gotten hard the last couple of years. Well, the last 10 years, life has been hard for me. But you know, I'll do it for as long as I can. Thank you, Janice. She says, sending prayers. Yeah, I should feel a lot better tomorrow, hopefully, because the bone pill will be 2 days out, and then it'll be 5 more days before I have to take it again. It's like, oh my gosh, to be young again. I don't mind getting old, but I wanna feel like I felt when I was younger. And I know I have a lot of, older people in my audience, that a lot of people that are going through their own issues and health issues, and they really enjoy, like, me coming on the air as often as I can, so, we're like a family now, so, you know, I don't wanna let anybody down, but, we gotta, have something relevant in the news to talk about. Um April, the bigger you get, the more trolls you will get. That's true. I never had any trolls before when I was smaller channel, and I'm still small. Oh, thank you, VMS. She says, yes, but it is a privilege that we get each day. Well, thank you. And thank you to all the people that come in on the replay, because that really, really helps. Now, it does take about a day or two for YouTube to reload the chat, where you can see the chat and, the super thanks and then the super chats. And, that takes about a day. And that's just a YouTube thing. But I have plenty of other videos and I've got playlists. I did reach 3K. I can't believe that. Now, bigger YouTubers would, that have like a million subscribers would laugh at that. Some people, they just shoot up right away. Look at my friend Kermudge. He's very successful. He's one of the mods here. Kermudge in Alaska, very successful. But he also had several YouTube channels, I guess, before I knew who he was. And so he had a lot of practice channels. And then he finally like caught the algorithm, and there was one video about taking the Flagstop train to go do a winter grocery run, and it just like just soared, just changed his whole life, like one video. You never know what's going to work and what's not going to work. Hey, Eric Alexander, welcome in. Where are you coming in from? Still waiting for my Amazon person. I was like, gosh, I hope they don't come within the first 5 or 10 minutes that I go on the air. Justice for Nancy. Yes, absolutely, Kathy. My heart just still aches so bad for Savannah and the grandkids. And, if they do catch somebody and they do get this whole mess sorted out, and it turns out that no one in the family is connected to this, then, I feel really bad for them too. Um, but if they are involved, even if it is somebody in the family, they need to be caught and prosecuted just like anybody else. I hope it doesn't sway that way. I hope it doesn't go that direction at all because it's so sad and it'll just make it even sadder. Oh, thank you for the star, Gary. Gary67. Thank you so much. That'll count. That'll go towards the final totals. It's going to cut off at midnight tonight. Now, I won't really know till another day or two after today, like where it's going to land as far as the totals, but I've got a pretty good idea, and it's significantly down from last month. Oh, those are just my cheap readers from eBay. Yeah, yesterday somebody came on and accused me of wearing Melania Trump glasses. Like, what? I won't even go there. Um, I hope we can apologize to A&T. Exactly. I hope everybody that accused them apologizes if they're not involved. That's just horrible. But, I still don't like the body language of certain people, but it doesn't make them a kidnapper. They look like mine, except mine are dark green. Yeah, I've got several pairs, but this is more comfortable than the Amazon ones. I'm surprised they've lasted this long because, I go through readers like I go through sunglasses. Can't find them, break them, sit on them, step on them. Wonder where they are, says B Miss. It's just odd that they are gone. There's a lot of different reasons that they could be gone. Some of which I understand could be a security issue, but then there's other reasons that could be red flags. No, but the male looks mean. Oh, yeah, he's not somebody I'd want to run into in a dark alley at night. That's for sure. But I'm actually more freaked out about the female because of the rumors. And that's as far as I'm going to say. That's as far as I'm going to go today on that one. And remember, Nancy was taken on a full moon, and tonight is a full moon. In fact, it's a blue moon, 2 full moons in 1 month. Miss says for their protection and safety, and or because they could be guilty of something. Remember, they do have a young child. They have a son. Suzanne, I feel bad for them too. Poor family. And AI channels portray AI photos of Nancy looking afraid and more. I know, I don't like those. Awful for the Guthries. They are all in my prayers. Yes. Uh, Kathy, I wouldn't want to run into him in the daylight. He doesn't seem very friendly, does he? Mm. There's still no reason to come out of their house when before the sheriff towed their car, or was it the FBI? I think no, it was the sheriff that towed it for like 40 days or something. They had it. There's no need for them to come out with having a hoodie over her head and putting her hands over her face and looking deceptive, deceitful, and shameful. There's just no, there's no excuse for that. And I just can't stop thinking about that. You still cannot find my suspects video. It's on my YouTube channel. Just go to my videos. These are just, you guys that are coming in here are watching the lives, but I have hundreds of videos on YouTube that have nothing to do with my lives. But I have a Nancy Guthrie short and I have a Nancy Guthrie suspect video. You just got to go to the channel page and click video. Seems like my vertigo's getting to me too. When I look at the chat, I'm like a little woo. uh, Cali Girl on Fire says Suzanne is under videos, not lives, and it's there under suspects. Yeah, it's also on my playlist too, my Nancy Guthrie playlist. Let me see if I can, without losing my page here, because I have this big piece of equipment in front of me. Let me go to my video tab. And let me go to share. I'm trying to do this. I can't completely see the screen. Let me go back over to the chat and I'm going to paste it. And hopefully there it is. If you guys click on that, you can find it. But it will take you out of this live if you click on that now. And it will take a day or two for the chat to replay. There it is. Yeah, I found it the other night. There's tons of videos. Somebody came in yesterday to my comments, one of the regular watchers on the lives, and said, would you happen to have any videos on MH370? And I'm like, yeah, I have a couple. Now, the last one, just know that it was filmed in March 2024, and I was just getting ready to go in for major heart surgery. So if I see like I'm kind of talking slow and I'm like, that's because my heart was literally, I was like in very bad, like almost, I was near death. And I've since had a second surgery because I had to have the second surgery. I had to have that surgery again. Uh, Remember, we're all on borrowed time, people. So if I seem a little in that video, that's because it was hard to speak and sit at my desk. Um, Groceries still not there. Well, that sucks, Kathy. So yeah, it's there and it's still relevant. Although one thing has changed, the date of there's some information about Luke's Range Rover, and that date was updated. You'll see it in the pinned comments. Just check the pinned comments before you watch the video because there is a correction. And I'm not going to remake the whole video just because of a pinned comment. And there's been a lot of people that have been added to that list since that video was made because that video is more than a month old. A lot of things have happened in this case. And a lot of other names have come up. Hey, Dean, welcome in. So now I'm still waiting. Maybe I can go to Amazon. It's not going to be the same screen that's on my phone, but that package was 4 stops away when I started this video. It just says arriving today. View order. I don't want to view the order. On my phone, it gives me a little map of my neighborhood. And it'll say, 8 stops, 7, 6, 5, 4. And then all of a sudden it just, well, I came on the air, but it just says arriving today. I can't see the tracking map. You would think I'd be able to see that on desktop easier than I'd be able to see it on the mobile phone. Hopefully, it's going to be enough to do what I want to do with it. Luke has been laying low. Yes, he has, Vemus. Moving up. Greetings. Hello, Leanne. Would receiving the monocular be fun for you? Yes, because that'll help me with my hummingbirds. There's been a few, but they're not as active as they were in December. Madhurst. Okay, I don't get that at all. Uh, yeah, what is that about? Yeah, I've needed that monocular for a very long time. Oh, you know what's helped out the best? And I wasn't even gonna do this, but it was one of my former mods and some of my viewers here that were like, "You gotta start that Amazon wish list." And I put, like, the gift cards up there, and those have helped me tremendously, both the Amazon cards and the food cards, like, it's very expensive to buy groceries in Los Angeles, so yeah, that's I gotta add that in too, with not just what I get, for my royalties, but some of the private donations that have come in and some of the gifts, which, like, I'd never expected any of this, people. Like, you guys have no idea how much it means to me. Life was a lot easier when, before I had cancer and I had my six-figure business. Life since cancer, cancer changes everything, not just your perspective, but it changes your emotions, it changes your physical health, it changes your ability to work depending on, you know, how soon your cancer was, or in my case, wasn't discovered. Um, yeah. I got a very close friend in the PI industry that's going through this right now, and it's just it's hard. It's really hard, and everybody, life is short. Hug your loved ones. Hug your friends. Suzanne says, "I have a hummingbird return from last year. It is so beautiful and fascinating." Yes, I love them. Yeah, I know. But it gave me, it created my YouTube channel, but just as a way for me to document my life since all that happened. Oh, you're still having phone problems, Miss. Sorry, my crazy phone. Yeah, I should feel a lot better tomorrow because the bone pill will have been in my system for 2 days. That's a once a week pill, and I can't even do it every week anymore. It's so bad. And then my vertigo that I hadn't had since before cancer, that came back, and I've been struggling with that since April of last year. It even put me in the hospital a couple times. It was so bad. And I've been to all the specialists, and I've had the brain scans, and I probably need a good old fashioned adjustment from a chiropractor, but my bones are bad. So, that could be a problem. Um, what's the bone pill? That is to help the osteoporosis and the pre-osteoporosis, which mine went from pre to osteo back to pre again because of the bone pill. And even to go to the dentist is a risk now because of that. Like you said, if I ever need a tooth removed, then he'll have to send me to the surgeon because my jaw could break during an extraction of a tooth. Just to have a surgery, I have to go off medications, and just everything is so complicated now. It sucks being old. Um, my good friend in Tucson is going through cancer treatment in 9 months. Yeah, it's awful. And then, people that don't go through it, they think as soon as your treatments are done, that you're just gonna jump out of your chair and everything is fine because, hey, you've already had chemo and surgeries and radiation, and you no, for breast cancer, there's a pill you have to take for 5 or 10 years afterwards. And then the bones start to crumble, and, there's it's just and then the heart goes from the treatment, you know? I'm still, like, not out of the woods yet with everything that has happened. Um Hmm. I'm not surprised, Dean. MD and LD's home has been blurred on Google Maps. Any idea? I think you can do that. You can blur out your own property. Oh, that's so funny. I didn't think Luke would be smart enough to know how to do something like that. Oh my God, Janice. I had breast cancer. I had surgery, and they took my left breast and 4 lymph nodes under my arm, and they got it all. Mine was the left one too, and I had a left breast mastectomy, and I had 22 lymph nodes removed, 2 of which were positive and 1 which splintered, so that was really bad. But what was worse was the red devil chemo that damaged my heart. At least that's what they think damaged my heart. I don't smoke or drink or do drugs, so yeah, it's for bone density. Exactly, Kathy. Yes, that's a good thing to do, Suzanne. She says she is going to send her flowers and a card for encouragement, and I'm praying for her. Let me tell you, that helps a lot. And not just from friends, but the things that I got from total strangers, like, gets me teary-eyed. Um, because you do really lose a lot of your support. It ruins careers, relationships, families. I have a very close friend that I've known since I was in my 20s who's out here locally in LA, and she's really got a hard situation going right now with cancer, and I can't say any more than that to protect her privacy, but, um, it's not it's not a good situation. His attorney may have done it. Oh, you mean oh, okay. Yeah, that's possible. That's a good statement, Dean, meaning the, property of LD and MD. Dean, maybe so, I wonder why, though. Ah, that's so funny. Do you find having a green screen is helpful for your channel? Yeah, most people seem to like it. Sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't, and I switch it up. You drink a lot of milk and take massive doses of calcium D3. Yeah, I used to do tons of dairy, but after the treatment, I do very little dairy now. Um, I sent my Tucson friend's husband cupcakes because he needs support too. Absolutely. And luckily, your friend has a husband, someone that lives in the house that's a partner that can help take care of her. I just had my cat Alfie at the time, and he wasn't well. It was tough. But I did have a family member that came occasionally from out of state when she could, and I did have a lot of, you know, locals around here to LA, good friends that, drove me places. But then the pandemic hit before I started my radiation, and I had to go all by myself every single day, except the weekends for 6 long weeks. And looking back on it, I don't know how I did that. She's a nurse and he's a doctor. That's a great idea. Get a husband that's a doctor or get a a, a partner, boyfriend that's a nurse. Kathy has osteoporosis. Yeah, it's not fun, is it, Kathy? I do take D3, K2. I try to take things my body needs. I have a lot of back problems. Me too. 35 years of surveillance is not a good thing for the back. Dean, I am a survivor. 3 years. Congratulations. August, I have days that are so hard I can't even hold my water glass. Yeah. Yeah, I was at the point where I was dropping things occasionally, like at thrift stores or antique malls, like, "Oops." But now I'm like, I don't even go there anymore because I just don't wanna stumble in with my cane. It's just too hard. Your back hurts constantly. Yeah, me too. Yeah, we're all getting old here. Like, I do have a lot of older audience that, I'm gonna keep everybody here in my well wishes and my prayers. I hear the lobby door. Oh, could it be Amazon? Somebody walked by, but I have the blinds closed too much. I couldn't see who it was. I just saw it was like a man. Oh, it is Amazon. Ooh, he's going up the stairs near my neighbor Philip's house. Maybe he's got my package. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, Elijah. Yeah, you're gonna have to see this on the replay. This was supposed to be a 30-minute video. That's why I only set the super chat goal for 30 minutes. I can crack my back by just moving my legs. Oh my gosh. We are talking about Nancy Guthrie. But I think my Amazon guy is here. I'm hoping there's multiple that come into the building per day. But you know what? I better go get ready. So, everybody, thank you for watching me all of May. And I will. Elijah, don't be a butthole. Oh, yeah, I hope that's them. I mean, I did see an Amazon guy go up the stairs, but let's hope he's coming to my place with my package. Hopefully, it's the right Amazon guy. Oh, gosh, I hope so. Because I've got to put this piece of equipment together. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Gosh, 30 people watching, 30 thumbs up. Thank you for the $15 in super chats. And thanks to the person that sent the jewels. I appreciate that. Everybody, have a good Sunday. Love you all. See you soon.